Hello everyone, this is Sumit Kumar Mishra. Today we are going to learn about the concept of free fall motion. So without waiting, let's start with the demonstration of free fall motion. In this graphics, we observe that when the ball is released by the boy, it goes down. So the motion of the ball is a free fall motion. In a similar demonstration, we observe the motion of a falling apple. The motion of this falling apple is also a free fall motion. You must be aware of that story that the great scientist observed an apple falling down the tree. He wondered why it is coming down, not going up. So he started an inquiry about this phenomenon and eventually proposed the theory of law of gravitation. We have a similar example of free fall motion, the motion of the rainfall, or you can say the motion of the raindrop is also free fall motion. We observe that when the raindrops are released by the cloud, it moves downward, so its motion is also free fall motion. In a slightly different example, when we toss up a ball, first it goes up and comes back to us. This motion is also a free fall motion. That means whether the motion is upward or downward, it doesn't matter. If the motion is under gravity, means it is moving freely under gravity, the motion will be free fall. There is one more example. When somebody throws anything downward, just like the boy we see in this graphics, when the boy throws the balloon filled with color downward on the head of a man, the motion of the balloon is also a free fall motion. So in total we can say motion of a body moving freely under earth's gravity is called free fall motion. Okay, now we will learn what really happens during free fall motion. When any object is released nearby Earth's surface, it experiences a downward gravitational force due to acceleration due to gravity. Every object is pulled downward with a force mg. If its mass is m, it will experience force mg. Due to this, it will have an acceleration mg by m, force by mass, which is equal to g meter per second square. The value of g is 9.81 meter per second square, and this is known as acceleration due to gravity. Okay, and one more thing, in this section we will neglect air resistance, because if we include air resistance, the calculation of the parameters related to free fall motion will become very lengthy and complicated. So here we will neglect air resistance. Keep remember that thing. Okay, now we will understand the free fall motion of a ball tossed up. Now we will understand the concept of free fall motion of a ball which is tossed up. Let's see. This ball is tossed up with velocity u. As a result, it goes to this height, suppose h, and comes back. Okay, so this is the motion of this ball and this is the height. And there's one more thing, the time. Suppose it is thrown at t is equal to 0, and after time t is equal to capital T, it comes to the hand of the boy, and this is known as time of flight of the motion. Now if we increase the speed, let's take the another example, this one. If we increase the speed, suppose this is 2u, I doubled the speed. As a result, you will observe this will go to a greater height. Suppose this is your height h2 and this is your h1. Even the time of flight is also increased. This one becomes t2 and this one is t1. By this observation, we can say that maximum height, this term is known as maximum height, and the time of flight both depends upon the initial velocity of projection. If we increase u, your maximum height as well as time of flight both will increase. You must remember that. Let's analyze the motion in a depth. Initially, this ball is projected with velocity u, and we have acceleration which is g, which is equal to g, and its direction is downward. The initial velocity of u and g both are opposite. As a result, this velocity u will keep on decreasing till it reaches to maximum height. Means at maximum height its velocity becomes 0 and it is momentarily at rest. But your acceleration a is still g, and which is downward. So due to this acceleration, the body will start moving downward, and in this portion you can say I am making the downward direction on another path. Okay, so as a result, this velocity will keep on increasing till it reaches to the hand of ball. This is called ascent when the ball rises to maximum height, and this is called descent in which ball comes down. So during ascent, the speed decreases and finally becomes 0, and during descent its speed increases and finally becomes equal to the initial velocity. You must keep remember that thing. Finally the velocity means at same height, if you say the velocity, initial velocity of projection and the downward velocity when it comes to the hand of boy, both are same. We must keep remember this thing. Okay, now we will study the speed equations in free fall motion. We will make some changes in speed equations that will help you to study free fall motion. So let's start. Suppose you have this initial velocity. This is your initial velocity of projection, and at some height, suppose you can say its velocity is v. It's not at topmost point. This is t is equal to 0. This is t is equal to capital T. You have acceleration a is equal to g. Okay, suppose this is your positive direction. So because of positive direction, this is also positive, this is negative. So the speed equations are v is equal to u plus at. Another one is s is equal to ut plus half at square, and the third one is v square is equal to u square plus 2s. V is equal to u is plus minus gt. We will use, instead of a we will use minus g. That will be in place of s I'll use a small h because it is a height. So h is equal to u is positive, so this is ut minus half gt square. Okay, now move to the third one. This is v square is equal to u square plus 2. I'll keep g instead minus g instead of a, so that will become minus 2g h. So these three speed equations we will use in free fall motion. Now let's calculate time of flight, which is a parameter associated with free fall motion. Time of flight is simply the time of journey of the object, you can say, in free fall motion. In this section I have a ball which is tossed up with velocity u, and its time of flight means this is the initial time and this is the final time. And we know one thing is that initially its height is 0, and even when it reaches to initial point again its height becomes 0. So by using the formula h is equal to ut minus half gt square, we can easily calculate time of flight. Now calculate the time of flight. We have h is equal to 0 at final point. U, the time of duration, the time of journey is capital T minus half T into capital T square. I am taking capital T common. U minus dt by 2 is equal to 0. So I have two times T is equal to 0 and another one is 2u by g. This is your initial time. We know that, and this is the time when ball reaches to final point. This is your time of flight, and we can observe T is directly proportional to u. We have already learned that when we throw with higher speed, its time of flight increases. Now let's calculate another parameter associated with free fall motion. In this section, we will calculate maximum height. Simply, we can say maximum height is the height up to which object ascend. This is the maximum height, and at highest point, the velocity of object becomes 0. We will use this to find maximum height. So let's calculate maximum height. We will use this formula, v square is equal to u square minus, we will use minus 2g small h. So at maximum height, you have velocity 0, initial velocity is u square minus 2g, and the ascent is capital H. So you will have capital H is equal to u square by 2g. This is your maximum height, and here we can see h is proportional to u square. That means, suppose if you throw with velocity u and it goes to height h, suppose, and if you throw with 2u, it will go to 4h. Hence h is directly proportional to u square of the velocity. That, and we can also say maximum height depends upon the square of velocity. Now we will do an example to understand free fall motion in a better way. In this question, we have initial projection velocity, which is 40 meter per second, and we have to calculate time of flight, maximum height, height at t is equal to 3 seconds, and velocity at t is equal to 6 seconds. So first, the time of flight t is equal to u by g. You have u, this is equal to 40 meter per second. So this is 2 into 40 by g is 10. So this is 8 seconds. So the time of flight of this ball is 8 seconds. Now the maximum height, capital H is equal to u square by 2g. So this is u is 40 square by 2 into 10. So this is equal to 16 by 20, 80 meter. So the maximum height reached by the ball is 80 meter. Third, height at t is equal to 3 seconds, it is asking. So now I am going to use the formula h is equal to ut minus half gt square. You have u 40, time is 3 minus half g. I'll use 10 instead of 9.881. I'll use 10, and this is t square, means 3 square. So 120 minus 5 into 9. 120 minus 45 is equal to 75 meter is the height. Means at t is equal to 3 seconds, its height will be almost here, means that would be 75 meter, and if you add 5 more, you will get the maximum height. Now the fourth one is velocity at t is equal to 6 seconds. You can use v is equal to u minus gt. You have u 40 minus g means 10, and t is 6. So this is minus 20 meter per second. The meaning of minus 20 meter per second means, especially this minus, that shows the ball is moving downward with 20 meter per second. So minus sign indicates the downward direction. Now we are going to understand the free fall motion in a better way and in more depth. We will analyze the free fall motion of previous example by breaking the motion in time interval of 1 second. Let's understand this concept. This is the total motion of the ball. Now I am going to break the motion in 1 second. So this is the motion of 1 second. This is t is equal to 0, and we can say this is t is equal to 1 second. At t is equal to 0 second, it was thrown with velocity 40 meter per second. After 1 second, if its acceleration a is 10 meter per second downward, and the meaning of this acceleration is that it will decrease because its direction is opposite to the direction of velocity. It will decrease velocity by 10 meter per second each second. Okay, in 1 second it will decrease velocity by 10 meter per second. So after 1 second, the 40 meters per second will be decreased by 10 meter per second.
That will be equal to 40 meter per second.
And after one more second, its velocity will decrease by 10 more. So this is 2 second and this is 20 meter per second. After one more second, the ball will be at some height and its velocity will be 10 meter per second. And finally, at t is equal to 4 second, its velocity becomes 0. That means at t is equal to 4 second, it reaches to maximum height. After that, it will come to the position of t is equal to 3 second, and its velocity
Is now 10 meter per second downward.
from here, the acceleration is downward. The acceleration is always downward. Now it will increase the velocity because velocity is 0 and you have acceleration. Now the particle will move in the direction of acceleration, and now as the magnitude of acceleration is 10 meter per second, it will increase the velocity by 10 meter per second in 1 second. So after 1 second, its velocity becomes 10 meter per second, as both the motion, means the upward motion and the downward motion, both are same. That means this length means after 1 second, or you can say at t is equal to 3 and at t is equal to 5, this is your t is equal to 5, the ball will be at same position. Now after that, it will reach to t is equal to 2 second, and this is t is equal to 6, and its velocity is now 20 meter per second, means it will increase by 10 meter per second, and now it is 20 meter per second. Now it will increase by 10 meter per second more, so this is 30 meter per second now, and the time is here t is equal to 7 second, and here t is equal to 8 second. So this is the overall motion, and you can say if you add this, it was at same position at t is equal to 1 second and t is equal to 7 second, and if you add 1 plus 7, that would be equal to 8 seconds. So you can say when the ball moves like that, and when it reaches at t is equal to 1 at some height, and when it is going upward, and when it is going downward, it reaches at the same height at time t2. So you can say t1 plus t2 is equal to time of flight. So I am ending this lecture now. Thank you.